What's up guys, in this video we're gonna take a look at how to counter Yoricks. So let's start off by looking at some of his strengths and weaknesses. Yorick has really great sustain that comes from his E, which allows him to stay in lane for a very long time. So if you're gonna pick a champion, like taking a champion that kind of lives off poking the enemy until they get low enough to kill them, that wouldn't be a very smart choice against Yorick because he's just gonna heal back to full HP really fast because of his E spell. Yorick is a great pusher because of the way his ghouls work. You can just continuously spam his spells and the ghouls will attack minions, making him very easy to clear minion waves and push a lane really fast, which is going to be very useful in many situations. Yorick's ultimate can be really annoying, especially late game once the enemy AD carry actually starts getting some real damage. Yorick ultimate is the AD carry and we all know what then happens. His AoE slow can be very useful in many situations. If you're getting chased, if you're chasing, or if you're getting ganked, his AoE slow will help out a lot. Yorick's harassment can be annoying as hell because he can just sit back, spam all of his abilities, and you can even get health back doing so. Even though Yorick's harassment can seem really annoying, the party's gotta end at some point because Yorick is really mana hungry, and especially early game you can take advantage of this. If he just spams all of his abilities, at some point he will run out of mana and he can literally do nothing without mana. He cannot slow you down, he cannot get his life back, he cannot increase his movement speed, he can just use his basic attacks, which is not gonna help him out a bunch. So if you're able to still have a lot of HP back when he has no mana, that's where you want to take a go at him, try to kill him, try to get him low or something, or else he is probably gonna recall. Being a great pusher is also one of his weaknesses. Pushing early on will make him vulnerable to ganks. Let's take his W for example. If he tries to hit you, he can also hit a bunch of minions. If he has ghouls on the battlefield and they lose vision of you, if you go into a bush, the ghouls will actually hit minions instead of you. That will make him push a little bit more than you, and that can make him vulnerable to gank. So try to get your jungler to gank top lane if that is possible, if he is pushing, because Yorick players seem to like going aggressive early games, so try to get a gank early on. When picking a champion against Yorick, there's a couple of things I look at. Sustain is probably one of the most important things, because if you don't have sustain, he can simply just spam his abilities and poke you out of lane. Gap closers are pretty good if you're getting ganks. If you're trying to kill Yorick, some gap closers can really help you out finishing the job. And if he's trying to kill you, his only real CC is his slow. So if you just have a gap closer, he really can't do anything because he can't stun you. And then I'm looking for some hard CC. Again, if you're getting ganks on Yorick, if you have some hard CC to stun him, he can't really run away because, like I said, all his CC is pretty much his slow. So he can try to flash away, but we also got that one covered. Cho'Gath has some pretty decent sustain from his passive, which allows him to get health back and mana whenever he kills the minions. This also works on Yorick's ghouls, so if you can time it, you can get some health and mana back from last hitting his ghouls. Like I said, try to get your jungler to gank as soon as possible. The good thing about Cho'Gath is his W silences enemies, so you can actually deny Yorick the opportunity to flash over your Q, so you can hit with a W first, then a Q, and that will make it easier for your jungler to supply with whatever CC he got. So in this case we have Shaco, he hits with a fear, that's pretty nice, so we get the kill on him. So always silence first, deny him the opportunity to flash. Once you hit level 6 with Cho'Gath, don't underestimate the power of your ultimate. It can really deal a shitload of damage, especially if you're playing AP Cho'Gath, which I've seen a lot of people do recently. So if you just hit with all of your abilities and ignite, you can really deal amazing damage. When I play Renekton, I always try to get level 2 before my opponent because having 2 abilities over 1 is really good. Then I'm trying to get 50, at least 50 Fury when I use my W. That is going to deal a lot of damage. Then I pick my E because it is really great at chasing the enemy down. If Yorick had been level 2 here as well, I wouldn't have got that kill. He would have higher health and he would probably have his E spell so he could get some life back. I try to get level 2 as fast as possible because it's a great advantage to have if the enemy is only level 1. You can easily take a good chunk of Yorick's health away if you slice and dice through a minion, stun him, use your Q, and then you can use your slice and dice again to either get away or go for him. Remember, if you want to get rid of his ghouls, you can just walk into a bush or something, lose vision, and they will not attack you anymore. Another thing to note is if you're chasing Yorick and he's trying to slow you down with his W, you can actually slice and dice through his ghouls. That will give you another slice and dice that you can again use to catch up with him. So if he's not in range of your slice and dice, chances are his ghouls are. Riven does not have sustain like, let's say, Cho'Gath, and a lot of people would probably not pick her versus Yorick, but I'm still gonna go over her real quick because you can still play her, but you kind of gotta play it a little bit differently because, like I said, you don't want to get poked out of lane. So what you usually want to do is use like a combo of using your Q to harass him, then use your W, and then get away with your E spell. And a lot of people like to max her E because it gives a huge shield and it scales off 80, which is pretty nice. So you want to harass him a lot with your Q, then W, E. If he summons his ghouls to attack you, your shield will probably eat most of that damage, if not all of that damage. So that is kind of how you want to continue attacking him, and then once he gets low enough, you want to activate your ultimate, then use the same combo, Q, 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 W stun him, and then your ultimate should be able to finish him off, if not. But like I said, you don't have any real sustain, so you kind of gotta care, because if he just pokes you, and if you don't use your shield to absorb most of that damage, you're probably gonna have a very, very hard time. I really hope you guys learned something from this video. It took a lot of time to make. I would appreciate it a lot if you guys would leave a like, maybe even a favorite. If you want to see the next episode of How to Counter a Champion, you can subscribe to my channel. Now, I only showed you guys 3 champions that I used to counter him, but I know a lot of people recently are playing Nunu versus Yorick, and I can see the idea behind Consume giving you a lot of HP back, making his poke kind of seem pointless, and I would like to know what champion you guys use to counter Yorick, and kind of like a reason why you use that champion in the comment section below, and I would be happy to read that. Other than that, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you later.